everybody. Today we are here with someone that I had promised whenever I spoke to you last time. He is 12 years old. His name is Landen Carter, and he's been through quite a bit, especially the past few years. And he's here today just to encourage you, to show you that even though there are tough times and all, you will endure. You will. You'll get through it. You just got to hang in there. So let's kind of just start, Landon, by letting them know what grade you're in.
So I'm in 7th grade.
And things were kind of getting tough for you when you were around the age of, I guess, 7, right?
Yeah, 7. Whenever I was 7 years old, my parents had a divorce. So it was tough. It was really hard to get through that. I did actually listen in on their last fight that they had together. But it was just real tough. Like, you have that, then you go over to your mom's house, and then you go to your dad's house, and it's just a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Because, like, some parents sometimes they can be real mean or strict, and then the other parent not. And it's just hard. The stress is all.
So, for parents, it would be really good for them to co-parent well. Like they need to kind of get together on some consistency.
Yeah.
Like okay, this is where we agree, and this is where we don't agree. Because it's too hard. I hear you saying things like, it's. You have to like change gears. Like I have to be this way here and this way over here. And it's just easier if they have the same rules. If you can't be married, you can at least co-parent, right?
Yeah, my parents don't really cooperate very well. Mm-hmm. My dad has completely different rules than my mom. My mom has some similar rules to him, but they're all completely different. And here I have bunch of different rules.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. You need consistency. That's really important to kids, right?
Yeah.
So we had, you went through the divorce and things like that, and then time kind of goes on. Well, you moved in with us.
Yeah, I moved in to them for like quite a while.
Like 3 years, 3.5 years.
3.5 years, and in the middle of that, 2020 hit, and that Christmas before it, God just told them, y'all need to get me and my brothers computers, because that pandemic, we went to online school near the end for like 3 months, mm-hmm. and it was hard. Mm-hmm. Like, you lost your job, mm-hmm. and we could not do the work. We did not understand what to do, because the teachers, we would have to wake up at 6, right? Get ready. Go on Zoom, talk to them, and then they would send work to our house, like paperwork, like a math book, to mm-hmm. our house. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, this does not make no sense. You have to complete this by tomorrow? Like, I'm not going to do that. So I went to her for help. None of us understood what to do. And there's 3 of us. Mm-hmm. We could not figure out. So it was a lot of stress on her, a lot of stress on us. We failed. We all failed. But it was hard.
Well, you still passed. You didn't completely fail, and the problem is everybody was trying to figure this out. How are we supposed to do this? And then plus you're dealing with the pandemic. It was just, scary and all that. But in the midst of all that, then we lost, before all that happened, in the midst of the divorce, you lost your grandpa from your dad's side. And then we lost your great-grandpa on your mom's side. And it was just really, seemed like one thing after another.
Yeah.
And then COVID, we're going through COVID. And you guys missed school and all that kind of stuff. And then you got to go back to school. You're excited to see your friends and all that. But then what?
We have to wear a mask. And it's very bad for you to put it over your nose because, for one, you're breathing out carbon dioxide and you basically inhaling it back in, which is very bad to your body. And so I just kept my nose out, and we could not use any water fountains, so I brought my giant jug that I could finish by the end of the day.
So you're carrying like this big water jug.
I'm carrying my euphonium, huge euphonium. I'm carrying my water bottle, my lunchbox, a like 15-pound backpack on my back.
Mm-hmm. And so that was a lot to carry, very stressful too.
And I'm still carrying it. Besides from the euphonium, I'm carrying a violin now.
Well, you didn't have lockers either.
No.
Really, any lockers to put these things in, and you had to carry
I had
this.
a locker for my euphonium, my instruments, because we don't want them to break, because then that would be us. So the school provides us with lockers. But I think that if we did have to carry those around, mine would all get broken and everything. But we had nothing to put our stuff in at all.
Yeah, so that was really stressful, and it was a whole year of school life like that.
Yeah, that was in fourth grade is whenever we did online school. 5th grade for me, that's whenever we had to wear a mask. And then wasn't it at the end, the last 2 weeks, we got to get out of our mask.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so thankful because it was that thing was terrible.
Yeah.
Could not breathe at all.
So then you ended up, your mom got engaged and stuff, and y'all moved out. So that was another change for you guys, And but at least when you went back to school, it was better. It was more normal, right?
Yeah.
But what then?
I got bullied a lot, and did suck. I did think about giving up, but I just had to fight through it because you never want to give up on anything. You just want to keep going until you eventually find how to do it. It's like you're trying to build something, but you don't know how to build it, so you keep trying until you find it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay if you get a little frustrated. Just it takes time.
Did you find that one day it could just be terrible, and you just thought, man, I'm tired of this, and then you find out that the next day you wake up and your day's completely different from the day before? If you would have gave up, you wouldn't have saw that there is hope and that tomorrow is going to be better. And even if it isn't, then there's still another day after that, and things can get better, But if you give up, if you took your life or anything terrible like that, there is no tomorrow. There is no chance at it getting better, right? Because you ended it.
Yeah, you ended it, and honestly, I did not give up. I kept fighting through, and I got through it. It just takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it did happen. It did occur where one day was really crappy, and then the next day was the best day of my life. Then the next day was the worst day of my life.
It's like a roller coaster ride.
It just keeps, it's like a Ferris wheel. It just keeps repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Landen, what do you think really kind of helped you get through those times? What were kind of some of the things that you did that other people and other kids out there are listening to you? What were some of the things that helped you get through it?
So, sometimes counseling, sometimes it was just telling someone like my nan or my mom or a brother, or even just sitting in my room talking to myself sometimes. But sometimes, if you can't afford a counselor, because it's okay to go to a counselor and stuff, but if you can't afford one, go to your school or go to a pastor in a church. It'll just help you get better and feel better about yourself.
Okay, Landen, there's probably people out there, kids out there who are thinking, well, I really don't know who to talk to. I try, but then, this person doesn't seem to really be paying attention to me about it. They just kind of blow me off, and stuff like that. So, what do you have to say about that?
So, if people just blow you off, sometimes it works just to you can talk to yourself and God will listen. And he can't respond, you can just still try. to talk, but he will respond in his own way
Right.
eventually. So, just if you have nobody to talk to, just maybe sit in your room or do something like we're doing and just talk about it. Or like record yourself so that way you feel like someone's going to listen to you.
Or, journal.
Yeah, write in your journal. Go ahead. Just write all in it about what's going on, and it'll help you feel better. Or do something that gets your mind off things. Like, for me, it's music. I love music.
Mm-hmm.
It helps me get my mind off things.
Well, for me, whenever I was a little girl, in fact, all my life, ever since I could write, I journaled. I would always journal. I journal my goals. I would journal my dreams. Not just the dreams that I dreamed when I was asleep, but my dreams whenever I was, dreaming about wanting to become something, or, when I grew up and things like that. I wanted to look back later and say, hey, look, I was all upset about this, but it all changed. Look how it turned out. Or look how that really isn't what I wanted after all, But I would talk to God about it a lot, and, he does hear us. And as we grow more mature in our relationship with the Lord, we learn how to listen to him, and we do hear from him, And those were some of the things that I did.
If you feel like you have nobody, like absolutely nobody to talk to, number 1, pray to God. Number 2, go to 1-800-numbers. Just find someone to talk to. And number 3, you can go and try to get some friends to listen, or just go try your parents for a little bit. Just like get them to listen to you. Because it's very important that you get all this stuff out. Because if you don't, then you're going to be holding it in with a bunch of stress as well. So it's very important to do that.
And then, what else can they do? Like when you're thinking about it, if they're having a hard time trying to find a number, or things like that, what can they do on this podcast?
They can message us on this podcast, and we'll talk to them about everything. So.
And we've got 1-800 numbers we can look up for them, and we'll post it in this description, right?
Yeah, we'll do that for y'all.
So last year was kind of like a bullying time, right, for you. It was really hard for you. You had moved out of here, and you had a lot of changes going on and things like that, and you weren't here every day. Your mom had taken on a new job, and she was gone a lot. And you weren't here with me, with us and stuff. And so that was a bit challenging. And then, what next?
So that year was pretty tough because I had felt like I had no one to talk to. Because, like you said, I was like not with you all the time. So I couldn't talk to you. My mom was at work. Stepdad at work. Could not really have anyone to talk to. My brothers don't help out a lot. So
well, they were busy.
They
with their
were
own
busy
lives.
too with their own lives. They were busy with school, and that year I did not do so well in school just because I was like too much stress was put on because all the bullying was just going on at one time, and I just could not get over it. So I was not doing so well last year. So it's kind of tough to deal with all that at once, and people just yelling words at me, and just in the middle of class just constantly just making fun of me for no reason.
So it made, like we almost thought you were going to fail, right?
Yeah.
We thought you were going to fail that year and have to repeat it. And that was just going to be like so frightening, so scary to have to go back and repeat the grade. And then you already had enough bullying going on. And then to think they're going to tease you and make fun of you.
That just would have made it worse.
Yeah, would have made it worse.
Repeating a year, they would just make fun of me and not let that grudge go. That thing would be terrible.
Yeah, so he made it though. He screeched by and he made it.
I'm like the little mouse from Tom and Jerry. I keep screeched by from that little cat.
Yeah, you're escaping all of the terror.
Let me run through the hole. The open doorway with light is shining.
So then in the summertime, I'm preparing for a youth conference and taking my podcast there. I needed help, and I hadn't been feeling the best, and it looked like I was going to have to travel by myself, and I really didn't want to. And so what I was thinking was there was one person that I really wished that I could take with me, because I knew that this person would help me and would really be great at the job. And who was that person?
That was me. And it happened to fall on my dad's weekend, so we had to ask him politely to let me go. And we just had to pray about it, because it was like kind of doubtful.
Yeah, right.
That he was going to say yes for us to go. But at the end, he said yes, and we were both so excited.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even play on my phone on the way there. We were just talking the entire time, and
Right.
no music was in the car because we were just chatting. And then we got to the conference. I met Pastor Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him had a really good time, but we set up your podcast stuff with all the bracelets, candy, and
Our literature, everything
Yeah.
we had about trying to promote followers and get more people to listen to the podcast. And
mustard seeds.
yeah, what was the mustard seed for?
The faith, you have to have the faith of the mustard seed, the size of the mustard seed, to
Just-
be able to move a mountain.
Yeah, it's just that little, right? You don't really have to have that much. And you know what? God has the faith, he gives us the faith. He gives us that ability to believe and things like that. So, but the mustard seed was just serving as a reminder of that verse,
Yeah, we were trying to put them to make necklaces, but we could not get the hooks. We got the hooks in there, but we could not get the necklace through and tied. And
Well, the string wouldn't work. It was supposed to
Yeah.
be jewelry string, and it wouldn't stay tied. And we had these little bottles of mustard seed, and we put the little hooks in them so we could run the string through there. It just wasn't working out, but people that they were really wanting the mustard seed, it was a big hit. But while we were at the conference, we stayed out in the foyer with our podcast table and watching over some other tables for other people. And the conference was going on. We were able to listen and kind of peek in and things like that. And then we had some of them come out, and they wanted to pray with us and stuff. And whenever Pastor Stephen and also his wife had came out, and they both had prayed separately over us, and it was really encouraging.
Yeah, so before we left, he asked if he could pray for me, so I was like, yeah, he could. And he did. He prayed for me, and then like a couple months go by after that, I break my leg. And I was like, man, is this just a coincidence, or did that dude pray for me to break my leg? But no.
He didn't pray for you. No,
No.
he didn't pray for that. It's just another
No.
challenge in your life.
Yeah, and that was a week before school started. And that week, yes, I did not have perfect attendance. This was just 2 months ago?
It was like right out of the chute of going to school. You
Yeah.
already have absences against you, and you're like, great, I don't want Saturday school.
Yeah, and then they made up the new rules to where if you miss 8 days or 9 days, and you miss the Saturday school, you have summer school. So I did not want to deal with that, and I did have excuses. They would not take any excuses no more. And then I cannot wear anything. You have to wear the actual polo, and you cannot wear any sweatshirt or any jacket that was multicolored. It had to be
So
one solid color.
what you're saying is it's like a uniformed school where you have to wear uniforms. You have to wear certain colors and all that. And it was just really frustrating and stuff because you could not wear the things that your mom had already bought you for school. You had to buy a whole new jacket, which cost nearly $100. And it was just frustrating. So you just felt like you were starting your year out on the wrong foot. And you already had a bad year from before. And so, but we would talk a lot. We prayed a lot. we always have those really good conversations in what we call the prayer room. It's really our formal living room, but we have a family room. So we turned the formal living room into what we call our prayer room. And we talk. We had a lot of good talks in there and lots of prayers and just lots of conversation going on. And so then this school year, even though it kind of started off on the wrong foot, the broken foot, it changed, didn't it? So you want to tell them how it changed?
So I broke my leg. Then everything just changed up to that moment where like I could walk again. Like then from there, like everything just came together and just changed. I did not really get bullied as much, and people actually started like talking to me sometimes, and even sometimes still I get bullied, but I have really good friends that just help me get through it. And I think it's very nice how people can just make that much of a big difference in your life, and they can just change you.
What do you realize about bullies?
Bullies, they either have something going on at home that they just need to take it out on someone, but they could be jealous of you too. Like,
yeah, that could be one thing.
It's hard to deal with them because they bring you down so much, and then you think you can't get back up. It's like they beat you down.
Yeah,
but
right.
you can't get back up, and then you have to fight. You have to take on all the stress. You have to fight and just push through all of it, and eventually you'll make it through.
And did you stop and think about, okay, here's bullies, but what about the other people in my life?
Yeah, so here's bullies, and then here's the people who actually care. Here's the people that actually want to hear me talk and don't make fun of me, like my parents. I got my nan, my gramps. I got basically everyone on my mom's side. And
Who what? They think, what do they think about you?
They think I'm kind. They think I'm really caring and stuff.
Did they think you were dumb?
No.
Yeah. What do we keep telling you? He's
I'm
got this.
not dumb.
He's got this really big smile on his face. It's like, what did we always tell you? Did we say you were dumb? What did we say? What did we tell you?
You never say that I'm dumb. You just tell that
What did I
I'm
say?
very smart.
Right.
I'm unique. And
Yeah.
unique is actually a very good thing. So
Yeah,
if you
because
think,
like I have 6 grandsons and every single one of them is so different. And that is so fun because I don't want them all to be the same. I mean, you guys could be like 6 tuplets, and each one of you would be different, So
Yeah.
you have all these unique things just about you. God made you to be you, not to be somebody else and worry. And I'm telling you guys, this day and age is so full of social media that you feel like you have to live up to all of these creative things they're doing on there, and they're doing their selfies, and they're creating things to make their little YouTubers and their lives on Facebook and Snapchat and all that look so great, but it probably isn't as great as it appears on there. So they fool you that way to where then you're feeling like you're having to live up to that fake world.
Yeah, like some of them, it's not really that great. Like some of them, they get bullied, they get messed up sometimes. They don't feel good. And sometimes people even follow them around, and it's just not very good to be famous at all. Like them people that put themselves out there, they're not afraid, but there's a bunch of I don't know how to word it. There's a bunch of like stuff that's going wrong. Like there's a bunch of people that are just pushing down on them, but they try their best to whenever they make their content and stuff to just push that aside and just have fun for this one day and this like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, 20 minutes of fame. Isn't that one of the things they say?
Yeah.
You just got to realize that it's not all Hollywood. Life is not all Hollywood, and life isn't always easy. So what's some last words that you have for everybody to encourage them?
Just, it's okay to be yourself. sometimes that's just what you need. That's like just the medicine you need right then. Is just to be yourself, and you're gonna grow older. Like today, you're not gonna like the same things that you do once you get older. So enjoy yourself being a kid, because once you get older, you're gonna have a lot of responsibilities that you're gonna have to take on upon yourself, and it's just gonna like be a lot of pressure and stress. But just if you can find time during the day, just sit, breathe, relax, and just talk to yourself and just try to figure everything out. So basically all that I'm saying is talk to the Lord, talk to somebody, and just be yourself.
Well, Landon, I really want to thank you for being brave to come on here and be humble. Being humble is, just sharing your heart and not worrying about what other people say, about you. And it's just a really good quality that you learn as you go. And, everybody, that's your age still has a whole lot of time, like a lot of growing up to do. And, so I would just encourage them not to be, like you said, really hard on themselves. Just relax and enjoy being a kid,
Yeah, because being a kid, it won't last forever.
It sure won't. And you really need to just use this time to use your imagination and to dream big things, because things always change. They never stay the same. They're always changing. There's one thing even about being an adult like me, where there are many things I don't want to change. I don't want things to change, but they do anyway. And so this is just a good opportunity for everyone to kind of examine themselves and think about their lives and, do what you can, and then just be easy on yourself on the things that are more difficult in life. Don't put so much pressure on yourselves. Love on yourself, love who you are, because there is nobody in this world who has your exact DNA. There's nobody in this world who is exactly like you. You are uniquely made. And go ahead.
Yeah, and it's always a good thing to be unique, because you don't want to be the same as the other person, or everyone just be the same, because that would be boring. Because for one, y'all would be like just clones of yourself.
Right.
And it would just be so boring just to have like no one be different.
When I was growing up, and even as I grew into an adult, I always had this mindset like, I want to be different. And when I say different, I want to stand out. Stand out in the crowd. You want to be that black sheep in a herd of all these white ones. You want to be different, and you should want to be that, because you're so unique.
Yeah, and you want to be basically the odd one out. Like, it reminds me of the book Where's Waldo, and he's like the odd one out because he's like so different than everyone else. Or like, I remember Find Bigfoot, those books. He's the odd one out because he's honestly, just tall, Bigfoot, hairy, lives in forests. You find him on a beach and a yacht.
But he's the one you're looking for, and he's in the story, so you're looking for that one that's different, and you want to hear how it turns out,
Yeah, he's the odd one out. He's the odd one out.
And
just
it's
like
okay.
You should be. And it's okay to be the odd one out, because if you weren't and you blended in with everyone else,
nobody'd notice you.
Yeah, they would not notice you, and that would just be very boring.
It would be boring. So everybody, Landon and I, we really didn't spend much time on planning this podcast. We just came in here and just started talking. And so I'm sorry if it's not everything that you had hoped it would be. But this is how we start out, and this is how we learn. This is how we're unique.
Yeah.
And we just do it our way.
This is how we're Bigfoot on the odd one out.
Yeah. And then we just do it our way. And so if you'd like to hear Landon come on the podcast more, would you please just email us and let us know? Our email will be included in the description of this podcast, along with some 800 numbers to help you out. And just let us know the things that you would like to hear more from Landon and from me. And so until next time, you guys have a great first of the year. Happy New Year. I hope that you get everything, like your goals list, and you get your foot in the right direction, and that you continue to be encouraged in it. Thank you for listening. You want to say anything, Landon?
Bye.